Coming to you from the iconic Firehouse restaurant here in Ringwood, welcome to another Noel Jones Ringwood Market Update.
At Noel Jones, we love supporting local businesses, and we're here today at the heritage-listed Firehouse restaurant in Ringwood. Open for breakfast, lunch and dinner. It's high-quality food and coffee, a relaxed Art Deco atmosphere, and we certainly encourage you to get down here and check it out. Well, I can't believe the first 3 months of 2016 are done and dusted. Some bold and interesting predictions made about real estate at the start and the end of last year. What are your thoughts on the first 3 months?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been, I think we're all feeling a bit the same, a bit uneasy. What was 2016 going to bring to us? The media was probably negative after a booming 12, 18 months. They're sort of talking the market down a little bit, and I think we've seen that probably hasn't happened. Sales have been solid, auction clearance rates have been very, very good. The numbers for our opens have been outstanding. 30, 40 groups for some of our opens in the last couple of weeks. So the buyers are out there in force, so it's holding prices very well.
It's amazing. Days on market are lower than this time last year. The auction clearance rate, as you mentioned, for the City of Maroondah is actually above the state average. Interestingly enough, in our area, we've had about a 10% reduction in the same amount of properties available for sale. I think that's had a lot to do with the competition and obviously keeping really an increase in prices, and lots of record prices, which we'll touch on a bit later, have been falling very recently.
Absolutely.
We've also been talking with some investors and landlords as we approach the end of the financial year. They're having some thoughts about what they do with their property. Do we release? Do we actually look at selling? And
Yes.
Some insights for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as you touched on before, the equity is, they've been quite surprised by the equity they've had and the growth they've had in their property, and that's allowing them to look at other properties, purchasing, increasing their portfolio, or reassess that whole portfolio and what they're doing with it there. So yeah, I think we've touched on before, a lot of people are very surprised by the growth they've had in their properties, and it's over the last couple of years.
To be specific, if you bought a home in 2008 to 2010, at a very minimum, you've had 40% capital growth, and in some cases 60, 70%.
It's outstanding, isn't it? It's incredible.
It's amazing. I mean, for a lot of people, it's something they don't think about. It's not a daily conversation for them. But as you now think of, do I upgrade the family home? Do I buy an investment property? Do I renovate? I mean, it's a great opportunity to have a look at it, and perhaps the council looking at revisiting their council rates this year sometime as well. It could be an ideal time to get a good feel of your position.
Absolutely. And it's probably a fantastic opportunity if you're thinking about getting an appraisal or thought of any ideas of what the value of your home is. With this sort of growth that Mike's talking about, it'd be a great time to get out and just find out what your home is worth in this current market.
Well, it's been a really exciting month in March. We had some amazing sales, 2 notable auctions as well. Rick, what can you tell us about those?
Yeah, Formore Avenue in Croydon, a fantastic result for our vendors there, nearly 150 inspections. I think there were 6 bidders and a sale well above reserve.
And of course we've got Vine Street in Ringwood, a single level 3-bedroom unit, close proximity to Ringwood Station and also in the Ringwood Secondary School Zone. An amazing result, multiple bidders for that auction as well. And of course, Rick, can you tell us about a couple of set date sales we've had recently?
Yeah, we had a big sale in 99 Langdale in Croydon Hills. Nice family home, close proximity to the parks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it sold for $747,000 in the end, which is well exceeded the vendor's expectation, and probably some of the other sales in the area as well. A final one that does come to mind is in Heathwood Street in Ringwood East. A small character weatherboard, beautifully renovated. We wondered if it would be ideal for the first home buyers or perhaps some downsizers, and we really were impressed by the following that we had for the home. Multiple offers, over 40 inspections through the property, another fantastic result last month.
One of our most frequently asked questions is, should we sell now or wait to the spring market? Ultimately, it comes down to when the timing is right for you and your family, but you want to keep in mind that competition is at the heart of a premium price. You want to sell when there's less to compete with, which gets you more buyers and stronger competition. Ultimately, buyers' criteria doesn't change depending on the season. At the moment, there's a lot of people who sold in the spring market of last year who are very keen to buy a property now. We feel May will be a terrific month. No public holidays and a clean air as far as the campaign goes. Now would be a great opportunity to sit down and formulate a plan of attack around preparation and presentation, and we'd love to have that discussion with you.
One very positive thing we've seen in 2016 is the developers, especially the larger developers, coming back into the marketplace. Of note, a couple of major sales we've had of recent times is a $4 million development site in Warrenwood. We've had two in Ringwood North around the $2.5 million mark, and we've just had one this week in Ringwood of $3.6 million, making one of the largest sale in Maroondah for 2016. We're seeing the main reason the developers are coming back to the market is the end product, the townhouses, are actually getting very, very good results. A 3-bedroom townhouse in Ringwood can now sell over $800,000. So they're seeing that it's worthwhile investing in these sites and going through from there. The apartments on Maroondah Highway, there's 66 there, all selling very well, and the 34 townhouses in Ringwood Street all sold out within 7 weeks. This adds to the confidence of developers, and it's something we'll monitor and keep you informed in over the coming months and let you see some of the developments when they're actually finished and what they look like in the end.
Superannuation, wanting to talk to you about tips and traps today, so take it away, Matt.
So often considered an investment, but actually it's a tax vehicle and a really effective tax vehicle. So people have tried to find overseas investments that are tax-free for years, but if you're an Australian aged over 60, you actually get tax-free income.
Often people think that they only need their money to last to their life expectancy, which is around 85 for most of us. Reality is, we need to plan for their money to last till about age 100. So it is a very long investment time frame and it's worthwhile planning appropriately.
Well, that's a really interesting thing because one of the biggest risks to any person's retirement is how long their money's going to last, but what sort of lifestyle they're going to live. So if you're planning on having a comfortable lifestyle, and that's about $58,000 a year in retirement, you'll need nearly $900,000 in superannuation to live.
Yeah, okay, it's a lot of money. Diversification is a really key thing for people as well. Often they lump all their assets in one place and don't get the appropriate spread of investments.
Well, another big risk to your retirement savings is actually inflation, and that's the increasing cost of living. So in 1980, if you bought a Toyota vehicle, that would have cost about $3,500. That equivalent vehicle in 2016 is now over $20,000. You think about the increasing cost of petrol and bread and milk over that time, that's why it's important for your portfolio to maintain at least inflation.
So the biggest lie that people believe when they're business owners is that their business will become their retirement. And often they think they'll get to retirement, lay this wonderful golden egg, and that will be serving them for the rest of their lives. And in reality, often that doesn't quite eventuate. The world changes, their situations change, and what people are prepared to pay for their business is often very different to what they're expecting and hoping for.
Very true, and that's why engagement with your super is so important. So it goes back to the principle of compounding interest. So a little bit quite regularly is far more effective than putting a whole lot of money into superannuation at the end of your retirement.
So 3 key points on making sure you can achieve your retirement goals.
It's being really purposeful about taking advantage of what tax advantages and contributions and government benefits are available to you.
Yep. And making sure that you see a professional who can actually guide you through and give you recommendations on your investments within super. And finally, it's really around engaging early to make sure that you're engaging with a very powerful tool of superannuation sooner than what you think you need to.
Agreed.
So we've got a range of workshops coming up between now and the end of the year that you're invited to, and the next one is coming up in May and it's entitled, Is Your Business Really Your Super?
We hope you found that helpful. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.